I'm Jason, back at you again, Anchored in Muscle. Here we go with another video. And today, guys, I want to stop in here and talk about anabolic versus catabolic, meal timing, and protein. How do all these things go together, and how do we make them work for you? Because, you know, you hear me talk about it all the time. I say it all the time. You have to eat every 3 to 4 hours. You got to make sure you get that proper portion of protein in. We need to boost your metabolism. You hear me talk about all these things about preserving muscle, losing fat. So, you know, I can mine so many conversations out of this graphic. And again, guys, I'm just trying to, you know, draw this out for you a little bit, so it's a little bit easier to understand for maybe, you know, someone who is new to talking or thinking about nutrition. And, you know, you need to arm yourself with every piece of valuable information that you can, because, you know, whether it's, you know, losing fat or building muscle, it really is a bunch of different puzzle pieces. And the more of them you put together, the better and the faster your results are going to be. So just let me get in here. I like this format, guys, where I can actually, you can see me, I can go over something, point to it on you. I'm trying to make it, point to it for you. I'm trying to make it bigger here. But if I go complete full screen, then you can't see me. So anyway, not that you really want to see me, but it helps me anyway. So, okay, guys, anabolic versus catabolic. What is an anabolic state? An anabolic state is a state within your body where you are having muscle building, muscle repair, and fat burning. A catabolic state, catabolic comes from the word cannibalism, is a state of muscle wasting, a state of muscle breakdown, and fat storing. Now, obviously, if I tell you that anabolic means muscle building, fat burning, catabolic means muscle burning, fat storing, pretty obvious we want to be in an anabolic state 24 hours a day if we can be. So, you know, I always tell you guys that's what we're trying to teach you here. We're trying to teach you different strategies to be able to, you know, forward your goals, get you closer to your goals 24 hours a day. We want to use every tool that we can find to, you know, maximize your progress 24 hours a day, if possible, 365 days a year. We want to do everything we can, no matter how minute. Yes, we want to focus on the big things, but we also want to focus on the smaller things, because the more the smaller details you get right, the better the whole. So, okay, guys, right here, left to right, I have time increments in 4-hour increments. You always hear me say eat every 3 to 4 hours. You need a proper portion of protein every 3 to 4 hours. 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and then I put a stretch in here just for another demonstration. And this right here is a 12-hour stretch. If your last meal was 6 p.m. and you didn't have another meal until, again, 6 a.m. the next day, this is a situation we're going to talk about. So each time you have a meal, whether it be a whole food meal, we're going to get into supplement stuff talk here probably too, whether it be a whole food or a supplement, protein supplement, whether it be a meal replacement or post-workout, you know, blended protein or any protein in the proper portion. Don't want to get too deep in the weeds here. You flip that anabolic switch. Your body needs to go in a state of anabolism. So you have a meal at 6 a.m. You trigger that anabolic switch. Your body goes into the anabolic state. You get a boost in metabolism. Well, let's think back to our last video, Supplement Sunday, where we were talking about the thermic effect of food. You know, each time you eat protein, only about 80% of those calories from that protein are actually going to be processed by the body. It costs your body about 20% of those calories just to digest, just to break down the meal. So, well, the protein portion of it. So think about that. Protein has, as a food choice, your proteins have the highest thermic effect of food. Each time that you have the proper portion of protein, you're going to get a boost in metabolism. You're going to get a boost in the thermic effect of food. You're going to turn on that anabolic switch. Again, muscle building, fat burning. So you see here, you've had your 6 a.m. meal, you get a response in your body, and then it peaks and it begins to fall off. Here at 10 a.m., you eat another protein meal, you flip an anabolic switch, it peaks and it falls off. Right here in this between 3 to 4 hours is when anabolism drops all the way off. You drop into that catabolic state. So we go through our first 4 meals of the day here, 6 a.m., 10 a.m., 2 p.m., 6 p.m., our dinner meal, if you will, and we don't have another meal until breakfast, 6 a.m. the next day. We have a stretch from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. where there's no meal, no protein, no meal whatsoever, no protein, no carbs, no fats. So we have that meal at 6 p.m. You got about a 4-hour window here until you drop into a catabolic state. So here you got about a 6-hour window overnight when your body is doing most of the muscle repair while at rest, where you have dropped into a catabolic state. This is definitely not a good thing. How many hours throughout this day have you been in a catabolic state versus an anabolic state? That's going to be key here. Let me show you a typical situation. Normal people, this, not only for, out here on the boats, this is very prevalent. Even, normal people at home get up, have breakfast, and maybe they don't eat again until dinner. So that's what I got set up here, guys. I've got a setup here, 6 a.m. meal, protein meal. You flip that anabolic switch, you go into an anabolic state, it begins to fall off, and you cross back over into a catabolic state here. You have about an 8-hour window where you are in a catabolic state, a muscle burning, fat storing state, until your next meal at 6 p.m. Here again, you get you go into an anabolic state, and then it falls back off here around 10 p.m. and you got another 8-hour window. So you're going about 16 hours in this situation. You're going about 16 hours in a catabolic state. You're missing out on multiple opportunities to get a boost in your metabolism. You're missing multiple windows to get back into that anabolic, muscle-building, fat-burning state. So guys, I hope that this is kind of explaining to you, when you hear us talking about meal timing, when you hear us talking about getting the proper portion of protein, when you hear us talking about building muscle, protein builds muscle. Protein sustains muscle. When you hear us talking about protein is king of all macronutrients, I hope you think back to this video. If you have any questions on this video, well, before I get to that, again, if you have any questions, never hesitate to reach out. anchoredinmuscle@gmail.com. I just had a conversation with someone new to us, and we're discussing eating in this fashion. Now, you may not have time. Logistically, I don't necessarily have time. Maybe you can't stop. Maybe you don't have the time to stop and cook. Maybe you don't even have the time to stop and heat up your food. Like me, I carry my food in my 6-pack bag. I've got a microwave right here. I can pop it in there. I can be ready to go in just a couple of minutes. Maybe you're not in that situation. So how could you do this? Supplementation. This is a perfect place for a meal replacement protein shake. In other words, a blend of proteins. Because you got hydrolyzed whey isolate, you got whey concentrate, you got blends. They all are designed to digest at different rates. Your meal replacement protein shake, a blended protein, one that has all of these different protein types in it, which is designed to digest at a similar rate to a whole food protein source. This is a perfect place. This is what a supplement is for. If you can have a good breakfast, but you can't stop at 10 a.m., that would be the perfect place for a meal replacement protein shake. So, okay, guys, just want to get that in there because you want to learn these strategies, and you want to do everything you can to squeeze every ounce of benefit to help your progress. So again, guys, if you have any questions about this graphic or this graphic, how you can implement these strategies for yourself, never hesitate to reach out to me. Like Randy says, smoke signals, send me a text message, email me at anchoredinmuscle@gmail.com. Get with me in the DMs, whatever's best for you guys. I mean, for me, it's all about helping you out. Never hesitate to reach out to me and ask me questions. Later.